Once upon a time in a kingdom called Emberglow, the sun set every evening in shades of amber and rose and burning gold, as if the sky itself was made of glowing embers. The people of Emberglow were warm and hardworking. They were the kind of people who shared what they had and knew each other by name. But not every home felt like warmth. At the edge of the city, behind a rusted iron gate, stood Ashwood Manor, a house that had forgotten how to be happy. Every morning before sunrise, Cinder swept the hearth in a house that had once been her home, doing the work of a servant. She was not a servant by birth. She was the daughter of Lord Edron of Ashwood. And once this house was full of love. Lady Vora was beautiful the way cold, sharp things are beautiful, like the edge of a blade. She said all the right things. Mira and Lessa were selfish and loud, more silly and lost than cruel, because nobody had ever taught them to look further than themselves. On a bright Tuesday morning, a royal herald rode through every street. Prince Kai was to be presented at a grand royal ball. At Ashwood Manor, the announcement caused immediate chaos, and in Lady Vora's pale eyes, a cold and calculating fire began to burn. Cinder heard the announcement through the kitchen window and felt something stir in her chest. Not quite hope, but the memory of it. Cinder had one freedom: her morning walks to the Ember Forest, where she collected herbs and firewood and became fully herself. Deep in the forest sat a cottage with a bright blue door, and inside lived Wren, who had known Cinder since she was small. Wren was waiting outside her blue door as if she had known Cinder was coming, and she began to speak the truth. While Cinder walked, Prince Kai was climbing out of a palace window for the joy of being somewhere nobody would bow at him. He bought a warm roll and walked through the market like a regular person, feeling unreasonably delighted about it. He took a wrong turn and found himself at the edge of the Ember Forest with a path that looked far too beautiful to ignore. He nearly walked directly into a girl with dark hair and brown eyes that assessed him completely in about 3 seconds. She told him the right path without breaking stride. When he asked if she was all right, she looked at him with surprise. "Your father is alive, Cinder, and your real mother was Princess Sera of Emberglow, the king's own sister." Vora always knew, but now Cinder knew too, and that changed everything. When she asked to attend the ball, Vora gave her an impossible list of tasks. She worked through the night anyway. Every stitch, every piece of silver. She was done letting this house make her small. The carriage left. The gate clanged shut. Cinder stood alone in the silence and made her decision. "This was your mother's dress," Wren said. "Princess Sera wore it to the last ball she ever attended. I have been keeping it for you." The dress fit as if it had been made for her. Cinder saw, for the first time in 3 years, the person she had always been. The palace at night was something out of a dream. Cinder walked toward it alone, with a ring and a truth to tell. The ballroom was the most beautiful room she had ever seen, and she had exactly until midnight to find the king. Kai saw her, the girl from the forest, moving with purpose. He recognized her immediately, and she recognized him. She told him she needed to reach the king before midnight. He did not ask why. He said he knew the way. He knew every hidden passage from a childhood of exploring, and he used every one of them now. She stood before the king, held out her mother's ring, and said the words she had been waiting 3 years to say. He looked at the initials. He looked at her face, and something that had been locked for 16 years cracked open. The palace bells began to ring midnight, and across the ballroom, Vora turned and finally saw the girl she had been hiding. Vora saw the king's expression and understood that her time had run out. She walked to the doors with perfect composure and headed north. Cinder needed to get to the watchtower first. Kai had a horse saddled in 3 minutes. They rode into the night forest at full gallop. She told him everything as they rode, her mother, her father in the tower, Vora's plan, all through a moonlit forest. They came out of the forest and saw the tower. They went in quietly. 3 floors up, the voices grew louder, and there he was, thinner, grayer, 3 years older, but standing. "I know who I am," Cinder said. Lord Edrin held his daughter and said her name twice, very softly, like he was making sure it was real. The king looked at his sister's daughter and said she had a family in this palace, that was very glad she was finally here. They found each other in the palace garden at dawn, both exhausted, both slightly disheveled, both entirely at peace. Lord Edrin came home. The garden came back to life, and slowly Ashwood Manor remembered how to be happy. Your worth was never decided by the people who refused to see it. Kindness given without reason changes everything.
Thanks for watching. For more videos, please do like, share, and subscribe to Nappyland.